Hi, all. Let me introduce to you Dora Fields. Dora will talk about transforming trash with her initiative, Strands for Sustainability. So Dora, introduce yourself and take it up.
Thanks so much. So, hi, I'm Dora. I'm a youth organizer at ReWild, and you've probably seen me around. I was there the first day at Dodge, and I've been on all these Zooms kind of behind the scenes. And I'm going to be talking about how we can transform our trash into something that can help the planet. And to start, I thought I would quickly reintroduce myself. So, as you guys know, I'm a ReWild organizer. This is my third year with ReWild, and as you saw in the video, I'm really passionate about helping the environment. I think through ReWild that has only grown. And something you might not know about me is that hair has always been a very important part of who I am. And as proof, this is a picture of me with my hair um, when I was very little. And ever since I think the age of 5, I've donated my hair. And so I really care about it, not only on my head and how cute it looks in this picture, but also what happens to hair after it's cut. So at kind of the intersection of hair and the environment, that's where a lot of the work that I've been doing is focused. So these are just some examples of the hair and environment projects that I've done. This was a science project that I did where I tested the use of hair as a fertilizer on a bunch of radishes. This is a project that I'm working on now, which tests hair and hydroponics and how the two can be connected. And I've even made some art inspired by hair. This was for my art class. And of course, the biggest one is that I recently founded Strands for Sustainability, which is an international initiative for students that focuses on empowering them with the resources and the support to collect the waste hair from their community and repurpose into something that's truly special and that can help the environment. And I'll talk a little bit more about that, but that's just a little intro. So the reason that I started Strands for Sustainability was because America has a really big problem, which is the landfill crisis. Right now, we're running out of space in our landfills, and they're only expanding. And it might surprise you, but the United States is actually the only developed nation where our landfill generation and our landfill size is outpacing our recycling efforts, which is a little startling when you think about it. And just so you know, I'm going to refer to municipal solid waste as like the waste that's going to our landfills. And this waste is actually responsible for 14% of methane emissions, which again is a little scary because you think about greenhouse gases and that's, it's heating up the planet. And so this is clearly a large issue. So knowing this, you might want to know more about what this solid waste actually is that's taking up so much space in our landfills. So when you look at that breakdown, this is what you see. This is a little pie chart of what is in landfills, and it's things like a lot of food, unfortunately, gets thrown out, plastics, wood, paper, all sorts of things. And when you break it down by what's organic and what's not, you find that organic materials are over half of what's in our landfills. And what's crazy about that is that these organic materials can often be repurposed into something that is not only reducing the footprint of these landfills, but also helping the environment along the way. So if you don't know what organic waste is, it is things like food waste, yard trimmings, food soiled paper, and more. So things that you might throw out into a compost bin, but also things that you might not necessarily think about as organic waste, like a dirty pizza box or the shavings of your lawn when you mow it. And this is a more technical chart that goes into more detail than the last page. And you might be surprised by some of the things on here. I know I definitely was when I first saw this, to see things like shells and ash as things that would be considered organic waste. But actually, these things all have their different ways of being repurposed, and it's very cool to look into them. So you might be wondering, if over half of the content of our landfills can be repurposed, what are we waiting for? It's imperative now to decrease the footprint of our landfills, reduce methane emissions, help the planet, do all of that amazing stuff. So because it's so imperative to get this going, that's why I've been really interested in organic waste repurposing And that's why I'm talking to you all about it today. So now that you know what the problem is, maybe you're interested in solving it. So these are some key examples of organic waste repurposing, and I'm wondering if you guys can identify it. One of them you should be able to, because this is actually a picture from Dodge. So if you want to put your guesses as to what organic waste repurposing strategy is in each picture into the chat, and we'll see who can get it. It's fine if you're wrong, I promise. I'll give it a couple more seconds and then I will reveal.
You have some special prizes, strands of hair.
Yeah. The prizes are bragging rights, I think. Composting, yeah, that's what the bottom example is. This is from Dodge. I think it's from a couple summers ago, of people turning the compost, I believe. And that's a big, major, like probably the most important way that organic waste is repurposed, because things like food waste, yard trimmings, a lot of different types of organic waste can be broken down. And another thing that people like to do with food waste is regrow their food scraps. So that's very environmentally conscious, because not only are you reducing what you're throwing out, but you're also regenerating your food resources. And it's pretty fun, in my opinion, to grow things from food waste that you would be throwing out anyways. So the kind of unique out of the box example that I'm going to focus on, and that has been the focus of a lot of my work, is hair repurposing. And just to kind of state why hair repurposing is different than those previous examples, obviously you can't regrow hair. Once it's cut, it's dead and it's not growing anymore. So you can't regrow it like you regrew the vegetable scraps. And also it takes a really long time to break down. So it's not really fit for solutions like composting. So people look to new ways of giving it a new life. So the story with hair recycling starts with Phil McCrory, who's this guy right here. He was a hairdresser in the 80s. And the story also starts with the 1989 Exxon Valdez oil spill. So he was just sitting at home watching the news when he saw the news about this oil spill, and he thought it was terrible, and he began to think about what he could do about it. And because he was a hairdresser, he approached the situation with a very unique lens, the lens of hair. And he started to think about how hair could be used to fix this problem that they were having. And he thought about how hair absorbs oil, and at his own job, how the hair would absorb oil, like hair oils and stuff like that. So he started to kind of play around with the idea that hair could be used to soak up the oil that is spilled in the ocean. And this is how hair repurposing and hair mats became first developed. That's a picture of him on the left with Lisa Gauthier. She's the founder of Matter of Trust, which is the organization that takes in waste hair and fur from salons and pet groomers and turns it into felted hair mats, which are just felted mats of waste hair, fur, and fleece, like the name would suggest. So that's the two of them together. And since the early 90s, they've been working together to bring this idea that we can repurpose hair to a larger audience. So this is a picture of them using the hair mats to clean up an oil spill. Rolled up in these little booms are the hair mats, and they absorb and block the oil from things like coral reefs and areas where there's protected seaweed. And what's great about these is that they're a better option for the planet because they're biodegradable, and they also utilize something that we would be getting rid of and would take up space in landfill and all of that. So they're much better than the plastic alternative. And then also they've grown much past the idea of cleaning up oil spills. This is actually how hair mats have been used to remediate soil. So they've tested this at a bunch of different places where there are metals or maybe toxins in the soil. And you can see, I don't know if you can read the captions, but the plots treated with hair have grown back, whereas the control plots have not. And additionally, plots treated with straw mulch have not grown back. So you can see how hair kind of plays into soil remediation efforts as well. And they're still growing so many different new methods for using hair, and it's really exciting. And that's part of the research that I'm doing now with hair and hydroponics. So there's a lot of new space to be made in the hair and environment worlds, which is kind of exciting. So this is just a summary of how hair repurposing works. So you start with the waste that would ordinarily be thrown out, but instead of going to the trash, it gets sent to one of their, they call them mini mills, which is where they turn the hair into a hair mat. So this is the big felting machine that the hair gets put into. And then this is somebody holding the hair mat. And then they send these to different places around the world and use them to clean oil spills. They use them to mulch gardens and restore seagrass and more. There's a lot that they're able to use these hair mats for. And actually, just a quick video from them. Let's see if I'm able to play it. Can you see and hear it?
Hair is amazing. When you are afraid, the hair goes up on the back of your neck. In winter, we have a lot of hair to keep us warm. In the summer, it traps our sweat and moisture to cool us down. We all have hair somewhere. And so we can use this renewable resource and we can really do great things. My name is Lisa Gauthier, and I'm the president of matteroftrust.org. We work with naturally abundant renewable resources. One of our primary programs is called Hair Matters. It's just really feel good. It feels nice and you come out looking better when you get your hair cut, and you're not going to use that stuff anyway. So donating that is really easy. We look at all kinds of fibers: hair from hair salons, fur from pet groomers, wool, fleece from ranchers. We take all of these fibers and we felt them into mats. We lay down all the long hair first in what's called a scrim. The needles are, jagged. They go up and down in the hair as it slides through and creates like a looping system. And it makes something that looks basically like a doormat at the end. Yeah, hair. This is hair. What we're doing is mimicking nature. We take the short hair, fur, fleece, wool, and we use it as mulch in gardens. It's incredible. Lots of toxic chemicals and heavy metals from scrap yards, the machinery and everything's made a lot of these grounds just completely barren for decades. And they're really excited about how well this project is doing with the hair mulch. Like, I can't move it at all. That's all hair. It is hydrophobic. It's also a slow nitrogen release into the soil. It is a substrate that fungus can start to grow all over. We're really excited about taking restaurant corks, just wine corks, and rolling them in the mats to make these really buoyant buoys for harbors and ports. 1 kilo of hair can soak up to 5.5 liters of oil. If you can filter out 5.5 liters of oil, it can protect up to 5 million liters of seawater. It's nice to see those solutions that everybody can do themselves. We can help with our own hair clean up all of the little oil spills that we make in every city every day, all the time.
I just love that a byproduct of this thing that feels like a luxury also is counting towards something that's doing something good.
it's just win, 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 this program, and we just adore it.
So that's the quick video, and I think it sums up a lot of what Matter of Trust does, what their Hair Matters program does, and why it's important that they're doing this work. But unfortunately, there are some challenges with hair repurposing, as you know, as it'll go. And these challenges come up because not a lot of people know that this is an option. I personally didn't know that you could do all these things with hair until I kind of Googled where can I donate my hair, because I wanted to donate my hair somewhere. But I didn't want to donate a whole foot of hair to a wig. And then I found that Matter of Trust does this with short hair. So many hair salons don't know that these organizations exist. And also, even if they do know, sometimes they don't have the resources to actually send hair anywhere other than the trash. Hair salons generally don't have, a lot of extra people to go to the post office and mail a box of hair. So it's just the most convenient thing to throw it out. So looking at these challenges, I kind of saw an opportunity, and I think that's where ReWild comes in, because, at ReWild, there's a challenge that, we're losing native plants and we're losing these community garden spaces, and we need to bring people to those spaces. And so seeing how ReWild looks at those challenges and turns them into an opportunity, I was like, I really think I can do this here. So knowing that, I decided to found Strands for Sustainability, which is a youth initiative that brings students into the hair collection and hair repurposing process. So we have an ambassador program where students can sign up to be their local ambassadors, and they work with local salons to collect hair and send it to our partners, which include Matter of Trust. And there's so much effort, so much reward for really little effort, because the hair salons are really excited about this, because it's great to be able to say that, your trash is going towards an amazing cause. And also it allows students who maybe don't have programs like ReWild in their area. Like I just spoke with a student in Bangladesh the other day who doesn't have, this amazing program that we have here. So in this way, she's able to go out to her local salons and still make that environmental impact and still be connected within her community without, having to wait for an opportunity like ReWild to arise. And so far, we've collected and donated over 700 inches of hair and work with students in 5 countries, and we're growing every day. And it's really exciting for me. And I honestly couldn't have done it without ReWild and everybody here, seeing how students can make such a huge impact. And I will also say, last week you saw this with Cynthia, who founded Monarch Matters. And I think that there's a real power to seeing students working to make something better in their community. And so if you ever want to talk to me about this, or if you ever even feel like maybe there's some challenge that you see opportunity in, I think you should definitely go for it, because it's such an amazing opportunity for growth and for making a great impact. So with that, we are all Strands. I think we all contribute to something greater, and there's a lot of opportunity in the challenges that we see every day. And there's also a lot of opportunity in things that we might not even think about, like hair. So that is all I have in terms of my talking to you. I will send a couple of things in the chat, and I have some discussion questions for people to talk about in breakout rooms. So I'll just send a link to Matter of Trust if you want to check out what they're doing, or if you're going to get a haircut soon and you maybe want to donate your hair. And I'll also send a link to Strands for Sustainability's website if you're interested in that.